So, I think I wanted to just start this update. Today is the fifth day um, of, or Monday the 5th. So, we've been going for 5 days now, kind of hiking a little bit every day. Yesterday we put on probably the longest stretch that we did continuously. Um, but it wasn't the most difficult. I'd say literally the first day was definitely the most difficult because the approach trail. It was quite difficult. Even says on the sign it's strenuous, and it was. It was definitely strenuous. Um, so anyway, I just wanted to give an update on. So we started reading the Bible from the beginning to the end. So right now we just finished Exodus, which is the second book of the Bible, and basically the Exodus talks about Moses and all the Jews fleeing um, Egypt. And it was really interesting because I've heard that story maybe about like 100 times. Um, and it, you never thought you would learn anything new about the story. Seeing the movies, you've seen all the plagues that God put upon Egypt to you know tell Pharaoh, hey, this is what I want. You don't get to decide. I'm God. And yeah, so I was reading it, and I never realized how many people they were talking about. In all the movies, like if I were to look back and even go into Catholic school and everything, um, I would have said maybe like 10,000, maybe like 15,000, 20,000 people. Um, I have it right here actually. I'll just take a second to open it up so for anyone that wants to follow along with this segment. Um, it was basically Exodus. Alright, here we go. Right here in the book. So we got Exodus 12, uh, chapter 12, verse 37. Uh, basically, I never realized that it was. So I'll just read it. So the Israelites set out of Ramesses from Succoth, and about 600,000 men on foot, not counting the children. All with a crowd of mixed ancestry, and they all went up with their livestock in great abundance, both flocks and herds. And the dough they had brought out of Egypt they baked into unleavened bread. It was not leavened because they had been driven out of Egypt and could not wait. They did not even have. They did not even prepare food for the journey. So I didn't know it was 600,000 people. Uh, I mean, that changes the entire scope of that story. Because a lot of people will focus on, the wonders that God performed, but not to the scale in which I was shocked. I was honestly shocked. I would say this is like my first time really getting into the Bible. Like, up until this point, okay, I've heard the stories about Jesus. I've heard, all the good tales of, loving one another and doing all this jazz. And it's like, okay, that's great. There's wisdom in the Bible for sure. But I didn't know it was like that. 600,000 men, not including the children? Like, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I didn't know it was like that. So, especially when, obviously God performed all these plagues and, finally killed the firstborn of all of all of Egypt. I was like, holy crap. No wonder the Pharaoh didn't want to let his slaves go, because he had 600,000 strong. He's like, well, where's all my workforce gonna go? So it puts like a huge perspective change on like why, when they got the okay to leave, like they wouldn't be killed on their way out. Like they were in a hurry. They're like, okay, we don't want him to change his mind again. And he ended up changing his mind because he was probably looking around saying, "Wow, did I really just say yes to that?" Uh, so yeah, that was like my first like, whoa, very interesting Bible discovery that I thought I would share. Um, yeah, Exodus chapter 13, verse 37. 600,000 men, not including the women and children. Whoa. And that's on foot. So when they say it was a mass exodus, they weren't joking. Like, I'm pretty sure I did the math. I mean, that would be like 8 football stadiums worth of people at one time. Like, if anyone's ever been to like a sports game, you know, I think they cap it at like, 69,000, maybe 70,000 people. And it's like, yeah, you just do that times 8, maybe even times 10, because you said not even including the children. So it might have been like 10 football stadiums full of people, like mass exodus, which is crazy. Like, I didn't know it was like that. Um, so yeah, that was just like my one, like my first Bible discovery, right in the second book. And you think, oh yeah, I know the stories, I know the plagues, I know about the flies and the cattle dying, and the Red Sea, or the what the Nile turn into red with blood, and like all these things. It's like, okay, um, but I never knew it was 600,000 people, and I feel like that's not a number that they throw around like in the teachings, because they focus on the wonders that God did. But it's like, to put it to scale like that is like, whoa. And it's like, and they it's like, grab all your cattle, bake as much bread as you can, unleavened, because we don't have time. We got to get out of here, like right now. Like, whoa. So yeah, that was really interesting. And yeah, and then especially later, like in later on in Exodus, when they're talking about creating the Ark of the Covenant, so that God can, be with them through the Ark, and like going through all of these different things, and it's like, you know, it's a lot of like really specific details. Like they literally specifically wrote all of these things down. Like the way that um, the metals were to be used, the specific materials for creating this, the ark and the table and the veil, and all of these things. And it's like, what's the purpose of even writing it down? And for me, I think the big thing that I got out of it was, if God is telling you to do something, and you can actually hear God telling you to do this, and you do it, He will bless you. If you don't do it, He's not going to bless you. It's like, look, we got Moses, who's literally talking. You got direct line to the man, talking to him. They even say in the book, it's like, yeah, he talked to God like he was a friend. Just having a chat. And yeah, and it was like very interesting to me, because it sets, to the scale, because Moses is now in charge of leading 800,000 people. Oh, it's not just like him and his boys. Like, yeah, he had probably, like an inner circle of people, Aaron the priest and all these people that they mentioned. Um, but it's like, I get it now. So you got 600,000 different opinions, and it's like, okay, you brought us out into the wilderness. What's going on now? Like, what do we do now? And, you know, that's where the golden calf comes into play, when Moses went up to the mountain to go receive the 10 Commandments, and he came back down and literally smashed them on the ground. because he was pissed off that he saw his people going right back to their old ways. And yeah, it was just so I just finished the book of Exodus last night actually. So basically each day I try to do a little section just to read. But yeah, that was the 600,000. That's something that will forever be like, see, you can always learn something new. Um, and yeah, it's yeah, I was very surprised, and it puts a new meaning on maybe the urgency that, you know, everything was going down. I mean, because again, it's like, all right, why wouldn't you just, you think back, it's like, to the Pharaoh, it's like, why would you not just let these people go after the first couple, you know? It's like, yeah,